Damn. Yeah. 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 Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? You, and you. How are you all doing? Welcome to season number 2, episode 37 of This Week in the UGA Football. Go Dogs! Sick 'em.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am one of your hosts. I am coming to you all the way from the Sooner State, Oklahoma City, in Zagner Central. Mr. Fingers coming to you, and that guy right there, you know him, you love him. This is the guy y'all came to see. That guy right there. Y'all ain't come to see me. I'm just a facilitator. But there is no one greater than a guy sitting over that chair over there. Why? Because he is the brother from another, the sexy Mother Hubbard, the ace of base, in the place, in your face. I'm very happy to be here. The trash can is over there, and it has already been emptied, so I have none that requires disposal. This guy talking SEC football with me on the INTERNET. I had to spell because I'm having a little bit of trouble. You see, on the INTERNET with me, ran the bar back so y'all can see that I can spell. You see, Callan P from the DMV. That's the dude. How you doing, brother? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm doing great. You know, we had a good Thanksgiving with us. Like I said, the folks came up here to visit for a little bit for Thanksgiving. Had my boy with me for a little bit. Had to work a little bit on Saturday, but I got my fill of the old good country girl, old mom. Every time she comes up here, she tends to put on the dog, as we like to say. And had my fill of dreams. Let's put it that way.
No pun intended, right? No pun intended about putting on the dog, huh?
That's right. But I can't feel. I mean, I feel great. We got 12-0. I mean, it's a good feeling.
Yes, sir. It is a good feeling indeed. So you said Thanksgiving was good, man?
Oh, it was great. It was awesome. Even though I had to work on Saturday, but I mean, like I said, I did have to work on Thursday as well. I forgot to say that, but family time with the family is always good, man, and a good grub. Can't beat it.
Amen to that, man. Amen to that. That nothing beats a good time with the family. Right there, there's the air horn for you for Thanksgiving and time with family. Junior came by, stayed with us. For the longest time, I have been the king of trivia in the house. I love Jeopardy. I love Wheel of Fortune. Any of those games that you got to guess and answer questions. Who wants to be a millionaire? The Chase, all of that stuff. The Weakest Link. I play all of those. Crush them playing at home, playing the video games. I always used to crush everybody at all of these games. Junior came by the house, hooked up the Switch. We played 2 games of Jeopardy. We played 1 game of Trivial Pursuit. All 3 games, I was leading by twice everybody's score going into Final Jeopardy, final round of Trivial Pursuit. Junior managed to beat me in the final round of all 3 games. I think it is time to pass the torch to the youngest member of Clan Fingers Junior, who is for now the trivia champion house. He still ain't beat me at chess though, but that's a whole nother thing we talk about another time. But like you mentioned this, man, the Dogs are 12-0 again. Brother, you know how hard that is to pull off?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was telling that somebody, I think I was telling a show, and I was like, I'm still getting used to this being on the winning side of things, man. It's kind of hard to believe how good we're actually playing and how what we're doing. I mean, it's beautiful to see, but I'm still kind of unorthodox. You know what I'm saying, for us.
Yeah, man, it's a weird thing, man. Don't get me wrong, we had a goodly amount of winning under Mark Richt. He was averaging 10 wins a season.
Yeah.
It's just that getting over the hump part is the part that we trying to get used to right there. I mean, it's been almost a year and we're still getting used to it. So y'all had to pardon us if we pop our collars a little bit and stick our chest out, but we try not to be. Colin and I try not to be those obnoxious Georgia fans. No. Georgia runs the SEC and we're the greatest team in the whole playing it. We beat everybody, despite
Yeah.
the fact that there's only professional leagues here and in Canada, as far as I know, and maybe Germany. I know there's some semi-pro leagues in Germany for the military, but that's it. But
Yeah.
it's no college teams like that except for here. So we still getting used to that. But yes, man, look, 2 consecutive seasons with perfect records. Two
Yep.
consecutive seasons with perfect conference records. There have only been 2 other teams to accomplish that task. That is huge, 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 huge. And we want to go ahead and send shouts out to everybody that's in the comments already. We thank y'all for dropping by. We know some of y'all just dropped by long enough. You got other engagements. So shouts out to the homies Alex Loosemore from NFL Edition, Bucks Report, Let's Talk College Football. You name a show, he's on it. That's one of our good buddies from up north, our neighbors up north. Blame Canada, eh? Big Michigan fan. We may see you in the national championship. The homie Randy Jowers from the SEC Super Conference and SEC Power Hour. Appreciate you dropping by, brother. And of course, one of the first ladies of the Let's Talk Football family, the lovely Miss Kate Alverson. Glad to see you in the comments. Thank you for dropping by. Kate will be joining us along with Alex for next week's episode of This Week in UGA Football, following the conference championships to see how things go after Selection Sunday. We see how things go, although it's a pretty good chance that we'll both be there. Uh, we'll be talking. We'll have them on. So we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all dropping in. If you're watching right now, go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, there's a little button with the 5 letters on it. Rhymes with scare. And you change one letter, it becomes very important to those of us that are doing this and doing this for what we love. Is the share button. Share it on your personal pages. Share it to your groups if you're in football groups. Share it, copy it, and post it other places. Put it on Twitter for all we care. Let people know that we're out here doing this thing, talking UGA football. We really appreciate you doing that. And yes, Kate does also make allusion to the fact that they are also 12-0. The Michigan Wolverines with that. Congratulations to the Wolverines, and air horn for the Wolverines with that. Ooh, my God. They dismantled Ohio State like they caught them trying to steal money while messing around with their wife and their sister and kicking the daddy in the face and stepping on the dog's tail while trying to steal their truck. That sounds like a country and western song, but they
It
beat
does.
them and they beat them and they beat them and they beat them some more. And so as a result, they will be playing Purdue this coming weekend in the Big 12. Oh my God, the Big Ten
Mhm.
championship. That is definitely a crucial game that will determine where the seeding is in the CFP Selection Sunday this coming Sunday. But getting back to what we were talking about UGA football. The Dogs have done the doggone thing. I've been exceptionally proud. Um, and there is one guy in particular that, good God, this guy, if there's not a 30 for 30 about this guy, after all is said and done and his journey, then somebody needs to lose their job. Y'all know this.
Absolutely.
Y'all know the story. He tried out as a walk-on, didn't make the cut, left and went to junior college, stayed at junior college for a while, came back and said, "Hey, coach, remember me? I'm Benny Blanco from the Bronx." That's the Carlitos Way reference for those of y'all that remember. Shouts out to John Leguizamo. That was his line. That's the man right there. I'm Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Remember me? So coach is like, "Yeah, I remember you. Come on here. Let's see what you got." And he played back up to Jake Fromm. He played back up to JT Daniels. Last year, in a fateful episode, he got the opportunity to take the reins and has not looked back. Now has a national championship now has a national championship ring, has a sweet NIL deal with the call me with the t-shirts, has gone through a perfect season as a starter for a full season, is now en route to his second conference championship game and potentially his second consecutive championship game altogether. That being
Yep.
Stetson, the mailman Bennett, the man they said that was too short, the man they said had a noodle for an arm, the man they said couldn't make good decisions, the man they said let it got inside his head, is getting ready to do the doggone thing again. So how you feeling about this, man? I mean,
Hey,
it's been a journey for this kid, man.
absolutely a storybook, man. And everybody, I mean, and you mentioned, I mean, you missed one thing, and throughout all the adversity, everybody hated this kid. I mean, for the most part. And I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody did, but I mean, he constant. I mean, you look at any of the groups or anything. I mean, they never gave the man his due. no matter what it was if it was a good play, it was all, due to the receiver, it was due to the defense, it was due to this, that, and the other. Never really gave him his props, and he still kept his head down, and granted, mistakes been made, but I mean he's one that I still say, even though he makes these mistakes, he's the one that comes back. Like he comes back and does not let those mistakes hinder him whatsoever. He's always come back with a good play after that. But like we were talking about, I mean, look at his stats. Like his 3,151 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, had a quarterback rating of 84.6 or 84.9. But yeah, it was just it would be great for a storybook ending, or like the put book end on it, if he was able to win the Heisman. But I don't think that's going to happen. That would be the only thing that he could probably do more than what he's actually done at the University of Georgia.
That pretty
But
much would be the icing on the cake. But right now, we know a kid that's out in
yeah,
Los Angeles right now that is probably going to take the honors for that.
right,
To be completely honest, I would say rightfully so.
sure,
Just because of what he has done, in spite of a sketchy defense and a on again, off again offensive line. And right now, they only have one loss. They are poised to win the Pac-12. That being Caleb Williams, formerly of Oklahoma, followed his coach out to Los Angeles and is shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like a
and
diamond, doing the doggone thing out there. So
that's right.
uh, that's where he is right now. But to be completely honest, if he did do it, you know what I mean, I would not be mad at it at all. Of course, I wouldn't be mad. It's that my quarterback, your
Yeah,
quarterback.
I
If
see
he
him.
won, if he won the Heisman Trophy, you think I wouldn't walk around and stick out my chest
Oh
for
yeah,
real? For
oh
real?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, the kid's done it. I mean, like I said, that would be the only thing he could have done. He could do more, like that accolade, in my opinion.
You know what I mean? Not to mention that he wasn't he the wasn't he the MVP of the national championship game last
Yeah, I
year?
was gonna say that. Yeah, he was MVP. Yep.
So I mean, you can't do much more than that. You know what I mean? You really can't do much more than that
Yep.
at all.
At all, really.
That I mean, he's done everything except win a Heisman Trophy.
Right.
So even if he does not go into the NFL, he will now be one of the most beloved. Once he's no longer playing, he'll be one of the most beloved players in the history of the program. Right
Yeah.
now, I mean, there's people right now like, yeah, but he's gonna suck next week. And then if we win next week, yeah, but he's gonna suck in the. I mean, that's all we heard last year. He's gonna suck. He's gonna suck. Oh look, he
Yeah.
threw the ball in the dirt. Oh look, he fumbled. Oh look, he threw an interception. But
Yeah.
despite all of that, here's the true test. But why? Here's the thing I don't get, and I'm talking a lot. I'm talking over you. I want to let you say your piece.
Sure.
Uh, you look at any other team, guy throws a pick, shakes it off, comes back, wins the game. Guy fumbles, makes a bad play, shakes it off, come back, wins the game. Has a bad play on second and short that turns into third and long, then turns around and makes a genius play for a crucial first down that leads to a win. They
Hmm.
pat these guys on the back and they say, that's a quarterback. That's the kind of guy we need. Kirby doesn't start winners. He's done the same thing. And
Right.
I get it. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say it. I think it's a bunch of bandwagon fans. And then I'm going
Hmm.
to say this to the bandwagon fans, and then I'm going to shut up and let you say your piece there, sir. To all of you who have jumped on the bandwagon in the last, say since 2017, I can tell you exactly when it happened in 2017 with the national championship run. To all of you bandwagon dog fans, the ones that don't know who Charlie Trippy is, or Frank Flatfoot Frankie Sinkwich, or know about Run Lindsay Run, or a Hobnail Boot, or
Hmm.
Or who listened to the battle hymn of the Bulldog Nation in Sanford Stadium and don't know why they call it playing between the hedges, or don't even know who the narrator of the battle hymn of the Bulldog Nation is, who just know the Spike Squad and all of that good stuff, that know players from the last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Just because you're new doesn't mean you get to come in and cut up. You might just need to appreciate the fact that we have a team that is doing something that no other team that has played for this school has done in 41 years, and that is be dominant. That is win national championship, potentially is on their way to winning another one. Has not lost a regular season game in 27 games. And of the other 3 games that were played, if you add in the SEC championship, the college football playoff and the national championship have a record of 27-1, which is impressive by any standard. I don't care who you are over a 2.5 year period.
Yeah.
We have a good team. We
Yeah.
have an awesome coach. We have incredible players. The fact that we lost 15 guys to the draft last year and still have the #1 defense in the country. Just sit down, close your mouth, open your eyes, look at what you see, and say, "That's my squad. Those are
Yeah.
my dogs." These are the people that don't hear when Larry Munson says, "And now, as we prepare for another Saturday of football between the hedges, let all the Bulldog faithful rally around the men who now wear the red and black with two simple words that exemplify the hearts and the minds of the Bulldog Nation. Go Dogs." That's
That's
it.
right.
Period. No comma, no semicolon. All gas, no brakes. Go Dogs. Let's go. Now I'm off my stool. I'm off my my soapbox. Please, by all means, sir. What you got as far as
Hey,
what are your feelings as Stetson closes off his Nathan Snell, if you don't stop it, you know what? I'm gonna come on your show. I'm gonna come on your show because I know you got one tonight or tomorrow, or 3 tonight and 5 tomorrow, or whatever. I'm gonna come on your show, and every time you complain about the Ravens, I'm just gonna post a meme of Elsa from Frozen. Don't you do that? You feel the same way about your Ravens. So,
get off my lawn. I hear you, man. Hey,
so what are your thoughts as Stetson Bennett closes out a
hey,
very
the only
successful
the
career?
only thing, the only thing I got to add to that. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. But I mean, I've been, my son probably I've been doing a little bit of blankety blank blank with Stetson Bennett. But I mean, he's a good quarterback. I've always been on his side. I mean, like, I mean, the dude, honestly, what more can he do to kind of get the love from the fans? But I mean, it seemed like he never could. But who was the one that said our defense, even though losing all those players we did to the draft, 5 from the defense and everybody else, said that everybody was saying the defense was going to take a step back. I said that I didn't think they were going to take as many steps back as everybody thought they would. And they really haven't. I mean, are they as good as last year's defense? Maybe not, but they're pretty doggone close. You know. But yeah, for him to be balling out like he's balling out, hey, more power to the kid. And you can't say enough about it. I mean, if they do an E60, I mean, may need to do an E60 or a 30 for 30. I'm thinking E60 on his journey, throughout the Georgia Bulldogs. So I mean, for him to go to the JUCO and then come back and then ball out like he's doing, I mean, you can't write a better story.
Nah, you can't. Steven Spielberg can't write a better script right there. So on behalf of this week in UGA football, on behalf of myself and Colin P, Stetson Bennett, you might not see this, but for all the haters that have been on your back since day one, just know that these two Georgia fans right here, we thank you for everything that you have done for this
Absolutely.
program. And we want you to go out there next week and run up and down the field on them LSU Tigers in Mercedes-Benz Stadium until they say uncle, uncle, auntie, cousin, niece, nephew, till they call every family name in the book. Go out there and do what you've been doing for the last. You know what I really want to know is if he gonna come out with the fade hair. Is a fade haircut making the comeback?
Oh yeah,
What you think?
absolutely, absolutely. I
Uh-oh.
think I saw.
Are we gonna see Stats Quavius Bennett the fourth?
Yeah, and
Oh
not to
my
mention him only. I know we're talking about him, but hey, we want to shout out and appreciate all the seniors for the team. You know what I'm
indeed.
saying? Not just him,
Indeed.
but everybody that showed their behind and worked their tail off to make this team what it is, and to contribute to this 12-0 season, and anybody that's left, those that are left around from last year. Thanks for coming back. Even, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Speaking of coming back, excuse me, totally unrelated news. I don't know if you saw or not, but there was a young man that used to play football at the University of Alabama, who has a very famous familial connection to the program, who transferred out to Arizona State, and it just was announced today that he is now transferring, hitting the transfer portal yet again to leave Arizona State. I can't think of his name off the top of
Well,
my head, but he is the grandson of the other GOAT, the one, the houndstooth jacket and the cap, Paul Bear Bryant, his great grandson, I can't remember,
yeah.
was on the program at Alabama, transferred out last year and played at Arizona State this year. Limited playing time. I don't know if he wasn't that good or whatever.
Hmm.
I didn't bother to look up his stats, but he's transferring out again. It sounds like we have another Tate Martell in the making. Not to dog Alabama or Bear Bryant or his grandson. It was just a story that I ran across that I thought was pretty interesting. It kind of ties
Yeah.
into the SEC. So what
Yeah.
we're gonna do. What we're gonna do right here, ladies and gentlemen, we've been running for a little bit. That's about our the first part of our first segment. We're going to take a very, very brief pause for the cause, and we're going to show a little love. We're doing it early because we got a lot of stuff we want to get into later on in the show after we come back. A little love to our sponsor. Do you like football cards? Do you like football trading cards? Do you like collecting, or do you just like trading them, or do you want to try and get a hold of a couple of gems and maybe unload them for a couple of dollars? Well, if you do, Colin and I know just the person for you. Check this out. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, Squid Rips Cards. That is our guy, Sid Swinton. He's also part of the Let's Talk Family Football. Let's Talk Football. I did it again. It's been a minute since been a minute since I messed that one up. There's an air horn for the club right there for Mr. Figures. All right, that's enough for you, audience. We appreciate you. From the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts, he's got about 6 or 7 shows. He and his wife have a show they do halftime of the Sunday night. Halftime of the Sunday night games. They have a Sunday morning show that comes on during the off season. They do fantasy football on Thursdays. They're everywhere, and that is our guy. Just went get at him. Squid Rips Cards today. That is his tag. He's on TikTok. Get at him now. He does a bunch of polls a couple times a week. So get at that guy. We were just talking about Stetson Bennett, his final game. His final game is a dog. We know we're probably also going to lose Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith as well. They'll probably all
Yeah.
be first round draft picks. Nolan Smith may be a low first round draft pick just because of his injury, but we're looking to see them all go first round, maybe high second round. So to those three in particular, also Keely Ringo, I believe, is eligible as
Yeah.
well. So he'll probably be leaving us. God, I'm gonna hate to see that guy go. That guy was a hero from last year. But
Yeah.
let's keep moving forward. As you saw earlier, we did take on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech in our in-state rivalry game. We played it between the hedges in Athens this past Saturday, 37-14. Off to a sluggish start, but the Dogs catch fire midway through the second quarter and did not look back after that. So let's talk about the good. Um, One of the things that I saw that was good, as always, the defense. The defense that get after them. I know it's Georgia Tech, but that get after them. They definitely beat them in the face, beat them about the head and neck. Not literally, because that would be a whole bunch of ejections from the game. But
Yeah.
they managed to hold them off, even though Georgia Tech came out fired up. It is rivalry week, and rivalry week at the first quarter of every game always tends to be a little Looney Tunes, but then things sometimes balance themselves out, and then sometimes they don't. Isn't that right, Clemson? I said that out loud on the microphone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick. I gotta knock on wood for that one because we got a couple of crucial games coming up. Don't want that coming back to bite us in the butt.
Oh, yep. And
Uh, but the defense was definitely on point. What you got? What did you see that was good, man?
yeah, I mean, like as you said, a sluggish start. Excuse me. I did like our comeback. Like that's what I felt we needed, and we've been having the last half of the season. We did have that sluggish start, but we were able to come back and kind of after we settled down, and everything kind of looked like it was both sides were actually doing pretty well. That wasn't good for me. And it looks like I think Stetson didn't have any. He had no picks. He had
Yeah,
140
he had a
yards.
clean game.
Had a clean game, and I did see him throw it away a couple of times, but like he should, like he should. Smart, doing that kind of stuff. And he was kind of one thing. Well, I don't want to go into the bad, but I mean, he was running the ball, which I love to see him run. But I mean, I'm kind of nervous, just kind of tap it down just a little bit. But
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there.
But I can agree with what you just said about the good, though. Yeah. So, I mean, it
Yeah,
looks like that. Main thing for me is them coming back. The sluggish start, able to turn it around. Although it is Georgia Tech, but we were able to turn it down and kind of get it moving.
yeah, definitely. So we're gonna move along to the bad. The one thing that I did see that I did not that had me scratching my head was that goal to go situation. I think we were on the 1 or 2 yard line, and
Yeah.
it just kept Stetson kept calling his own number. He wanted to do that juke move that he did last week. He wanted to try and do it again, and he ran it twice. It's like, man, come on, let's just run another play. You got a hot hand right there in the backfield. You got a couple of studs back there. You got Mac. You got Mac.
Yeah.
You got Milton's back at full strength, and he can juke and jive with the best of them. You got Brock Bowers. You got Big O if you want to run a tight end stunt into the end zone. You got Bijan Edwards. Any one of those three, I think, would have been a better choice for that play call for that particular set of downs. I think Kirby should have just gone ahead after the first one fell short. Just hand it off. Let's make it happen. If we can't do it in 3, let's go ahead and kick the field goal and get out of there. That's what I would have gone with.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of saw something that was eerily reminiscent of an older Georgia offense where we tried to run up the middle so many times. I mean, it was just kept running up the middle. I mean, if it didn't work 1 or 2 times, and how about the have back counter and that kind of stuff, get it on the outside. And like you had said, calling that our red zone, it's just kind of we're having a little bit of trouble, banging it in from the red zone. So, but that would be the bad for me. But other than that, and another bad was Ringo was getting burnt. I mean, like the first couple series of plays when they scored, he was getting letting receivers get behind him, and that was unorthodox for him. And I was trying to figure out what was going on, but he settled it down. That was definitely uncharacteristic of him. But he did let some passes get over his head or get burnt a couple times. But
yeah, and he's normally a lot more astute defensive back than that. Now, to be honest, what is this, week 6 or 7? Because they had the week off before Florida, so they did Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia Tech. That's their 4th straight week now, and now they had to play a 5th straight game. So I don't know. Maybe they dialed it back a little. Maybe they dialed it back a little bit in practice, and the guys got a little lax. I'm not exactly sure. The other thing I saw that the touchdown, it was not a touchdown.
Oh. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, seriously, when I saw that, I was just like this.
What?
Yeah,
real,
absolutely.
for real.
That was a great catch, great throw. I was like, oh my God.
I was 100% with that one right there, man. And then when they got to looking at the replay, I definitely thought the replay was going to be like this. But it wasn't, because it wasn't, and they said the play stands as called. And then again, I was like,
what?
Shout out to our guy Foobs. That's Andrew Faubert, 1/3 of North Sports Dynasty. Again, more of our neighbors to the north. That's the other show that Alex Loosemore is on, North Sports Dynasty, on Friday night, starring that gentleman, Alex Faubert, the Baron of Beard. We got our boy Dub Sauce. I call him a Headset Chris, and Alex Loosemore. They're on every Friday. They got some good stuff going on. You want to check them out as well. I just could not wrap my head around why that was not a touchdown. Every time I looked at it, he had the ball. He had 1 foot in. He continued to control the ball on his way out of the end zone. As far as I'm concerned, it should have been a touchdown. We won. So I'm grateful. But just in retrospect, that was a catch, along with Randy Moss's catch, along with Des Bryant's catch. Those were all catches.
Well, what do you think? Maybe they tried to go. Maybe try to to make up for it. Brock Bowers picking it up off the turf. I don't know if I saw daylight between that. I don't know. But it was a heck of a catch
Well,
anyway.
he had both hands on the ball, maintained control of it, and it didn't bounce. So,
Right. And he didn't have his
according
hands
to
underneath it, but I mean,
yeah,
yeah. I'm not complaining, but I'm just
yeah.
saying it was a bang bang. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. Hey, did you see Drake London make the same play yesterday? It was all for
no,
nothing. It was all for nothing, but he made literally the same play, except that he was in motion and he was diving in the process of diving, and he caught it and scooped it up as it just right before it hit the ground.
oh
Uh,
wow.
I didn't really see a lot that was ugly, man. Unless you saw something I didn't. I mean, there were a couple of scenarios where the penalties, the couple of penalties that Ringo got called for, which he's normally a lot
Mm,
better than that. Now, let's be
right.
real for 1 second. If you've watched the football game and going, "Oh man, he's mugging him. He's completely mugging him." I got news for you. News flash. They all do that. Every single DB does that. They will play
Mm,
slap. They will play slap hands and jersey tug until they see the referee looking their way. Okay,
right.
it's just a matter of whether you get caught or you don't. It happens on every play against every receiver if they're going step for step. Every
Gotcha.
single play. But again, I didn't see a whole lot that was too terribly ugly from the team. Once they got rolling, they got it rolling good. They got it once they got it to the point where game was out of reach. They kind of went into cruise control. They put in Carson Beck. My only disappointment with Carson Beck is Carson Beck normally gets you at least one touchdown when you get him in there. He couldn't get him one.
Yeah. He
Couldn't get him
couldn't.
one. Maybe
Right.
maybe he just decided he was just gonna let it ride because it's like we already won. I might have to go into duty next week. God forbid. But so I'm gonna let it
Yeah.
rest up a little bit. So I didn't really see anything ugly there. So again, another dominating win by the Dogs. I say that like there was a whole bunch of them because we had some that were a lot closer than they should be, but this one was a
Yeah.
dominating win. Even with Georgia Tech scoring the touchdown in garbage time, it was still a 23-point win, a 3-score game, literally, well, actually a 4-score game. Uh,
And we got to shout. Well, not the ugly, but I mean, this could go back to the good. Our kicker, man. Our kicker was he was what was it, 4 for 4, 3 for 3 on field goals and 4 for 4 extra points. I guess it was.
yeah, Pod Lesney, Pod Lesney.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on
I'd
field
like
goals and 4 for 4 extra points. Yeah,
I'd like to think Pod Lesney will find a home in the NFL. There are some teams that are going to need kickers, but I mean, Cameron Dicker got drafted last year from Texas, and I don't know if Specs still has a home or not. He was drafted by the Colts. He was cut, unfortunately, but I believe he got picked up by somebody else, so he's still in the league. So we shall see how that goes. But Pod Lesney, thank you, sir, for your service to Dog Nation. Before we get into the players of the game, what am I looking at here? Before we get into the players of the game, I got a little something I want to share with you right quick, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I sport something at some point in time during every show that has this logo on it. For those of you that are wondering, that is a signature brand of apparel that was created by yours truly from Zagnif Productions. Is called Zagnif Apparel. If you look on there, it says Zagnif Apparel, established 2021. We got this whole thing up and running last year. We started with some shoes, and now we're on to we got all kinds of stuff. We got leggings, we got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got high top sneakers. We got the stuff. If you need it, we got it. I'm feeling a little generous since it's the Christmas season, and I'm feeling a little bit in the Christmas spirit. What I'm going to be doing is every week from now going through the rest of December, I am going to take a tally of all the names that commented on the YouTube and on the Facebook. And all of those names are going to go into a hat. And at the end of the week, one of you will win one of these hoodies. The hoodies, oh my God, a hoodie that's a little more expensive than these. One of you will win one of these nice little skull caps here. They come in black and they come in gray, dark gray. They have the white inscription on them right there, Zagnif Apparel 2021. Just as a show of thanks to those of you that have supported us over the course of this year. The show is slowly growing, not by leaps and bounds. We'll get there eventually. Rome was not built in a day. So again, if you guys, those of you guys that have been commenting and watching the shows, we appreciate you. So we're gonna go through everybody that's dropped a comment on tonight's show, both on Facebook and YouTube. You are now eligible. Excuse me. You are now eligible to win one of these, and I will ship it right to your door at no cost to you. Happy holidays. Um, we're gonna move into our next segment here, which we like to call the players of the game. So we went through the good, we went through the bad, we went through the ugly. Colin, I'm going to come to you first. So who would you give a game ball to this week for Georgia and their performance?
Yeah, we can agree. We're in an agreement on I think what we talked about before. McIntosh had a heck of a game. I mean, I just love the way he's running fast and quick and hard and running with a purpose. I would say he was my number. Well, actually, all our running backs actually did really well. I mean, like McIntosh, Edwards, and even Kendall Milton. They above 50 yards, all three of them. With a couple of them, McIntosh having a score and Milton having a score. Those would be and a blemish-free game by Stetson. And our defense. I mean, those are my players of the game. Our defense actually showed up. That would be who I would pick. And if I'm not mistaken, even Malachi had some big plays. Malachi Starks had some big plays.
Yeah, he did have a couple of crucial plays as well. Um, yeah, that was where I was going with McIntosh. A lot of people talked about McIntosh. He had a fumble that could have been crucial against Tennessee, but he has been running like a madman ever since. He had 86 on the ground and a touchdown, and he had 2 receptions for 96 yards. He accounted for 184 yards of total offense on 2 receptions and 12 carries. That is my game ball. That is my game ball for this week. So we're going to keep this thing going. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you very much for everything you've done for Bulldog Nation this season. Well, so having said all of that, with that win and the perfect season, um, even though we had the perfect season, that was just the icing on the cake because we had already sealed off the SEC East last week with a win against Kentucky, and we will be going to be playing in Atlanta against the LSU Tigers. So I'm gonna come to you first, Colin. What did you think about what happened with LSU? I mean, what happened to LSU, man? LSU was hot like fire, man. It was
Man,
like LSU for a stretch there for 2 weeks of the season. You had Vanderbilt knocking people off. You had South Carolina embarrass Tennessee and beat Vanderbilt, and you had LSU who beat Alabama, and just it was like they had this resurgence, crazy resurgence. So what do you think is going on with them right now, man? Because they just got flat out and out embarrassed by Jimbo Fisher of all people.
I haven't a clue, man. I don't have any idea what happened. I definitely did not see this happening. I mean, it looks like Daniels couldn't get anything started. I mean, like he's only had 189 yards, no picks, but I mean, it just like the offense couldn't get started. I mean, it was a higher scoring game, 38-23, but I mean, it was just like A&M had their number. Like it was just it was amazing to me. I mean, honestly, to be perfectly honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of this game, like I said, because I was working. But I looked at the score and I was definitely surprised. So I just hope, I really hope that our dogs don't see this game as being like, oh yeah, we might not have a problem with them, but that kind of stuff, and going in it, thinking that way. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying this game is kind of it didn't happen like that. So for our dogs to see that. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I can't tell you. I was as surprised as anybody.
Yeah, I was too. So I don't know how that's going to affect them next week because sometimes that could work one way or another. You can wind up having a team that winds up losing a game, and they're just done for the rest of the season. Then you have some teams that lose a game and come back like, yeah, don't let the smooth taste fool you. So we don't know how that's going to work out. But what we do
I
know,
did want to say something. I did want to say something. Like, I mean, just looking at their running back, was it Arcane? Aiken.
Oh yeah, Arcane
Yeah,
definitely played a big role. I mean, he ran up
yeah,
and
38 carries, 38 carries for 215 yards. I mean,
yeah.
like that says a whole lot about your defense, huh?
Let's look at this. Let's look at it this way. A&M knew that they weren't going to be bowl eligible. This was more than likely going to be their last game of the season. And Devin A-Chain said, the commentator was saying that they had, coach was Jimbo Fisher was saying that A-Chain had said that hurt or not, he wanted to do whatever he could to help his team win the final game of the season. I hope that doesn't hurt him any more physically than he already is, and potentially mess up his chances for the next season. But I mean, the proof was in the pudding. Once you put A-Chain in there and you added another element, it was a wrap.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was an absolute wrap. Right now, ESPN has the game at ESPN has Georgia as a 17.5-point favorite with an 83% chance to win. The over-under is 51 for the game. So they're not really looking for a high scoring. Well, let's see. That would be 30-something to keep them under 20. So they're saying that we're going to keep LSU to under 3 touchdowns, roughly thereabouts. So if they get 3 touchdowns, we'll have 4. So that's where the line is right now. The money line is at plus 600 on LSU, negative 900 on Georgia. That is as of right now. I don't know if that's going to move more as the injury reports come out. Nothing notable from us. Nolan Smith still more than likely 100% out. Where's the injury report? Nope, that's not the injury report. The injury report is here. Notable injuries. Adonai Mitchell is limited in practice, but Kirby, that's smoke and mirrors. He may well wind up playing. Nolan Smith is out because he's done for the season with a pectoral tear. Let's see.
What about AD? Is that what you just said?
AD, he's limited. He's limited. He dressed for the first time against Georgia Tech. That's the first time he's played since Auburn. I did not really see him do anything of note. He might have got a couple of reps in, but if Coach let him dress this week, he's probably going to play next week. He's probably going to cut him loose next week, which, if he does, that could mean trouble for LSU. Let's see who else. Eric Gilbert. I don't know what's going on with Eric Gilbert. I hope the young man, whatever's going on with him, he's able to find whatever help he needs to get himself back where he needs to be. So that's what we got there on the injury report. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, man. Before we get into that, ran across an article. It says that Tennessee should be playing and not LSU. Hello there to Scott Irwin, another one of our SEC Super Conference brethren. Right there. Thank you much for joining. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Where are we? And it says that JD's ankle is our only shot to stay close, let alone win. Oh, that Jalen Daniels. That's who he's talking about. JD5. Okay, I thought he was talking about one of our guys. Yeah, Jalen Daniels. And you forgot someone, sir. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let's get back to this article here. This was courtesy of Yahoo Sports from Blake Toppermeyer of the USA Today Network. He said the SEC's 2 best teams will not play for its conference championship. And he goes on to delineate, because of Tennessee's record, their strength of schedule, et cetera, they have the better record. That LSU lost to A&M, who is not even going to a bowl game this year. And he says that, they won a division full of paper tigers due to winning over Alabama. So what are your thoughts on this, sir? I'm going to let you have something to say about this here, because I don't know if I can really get with what this guy has to say. I'll give my 2 cents in a minute, but I'm going to see what you have to say about it first.
Yeah, having not seen the article, I mean, and I don't have any say in this. I mean, that's going to be the committee, man, because I don't know. And then you run into those kinds of things, and I guess they run it. I mean, they're just opinions. I mean, like if you're going to say that about Tennessee, then I mean, you should say the same about Alabama because I mean, look at their two losses. I mean, you look at and how you look at those two losses. Do you look at the non-ranking of the team you lost to factor, or do you look at how many points you lost by, or that kind of stuff? I mean, I don't know where it ends. I honestly can't. I don't know. I don't think I can get behind this either because I mean, if LSU has a better record in I don't know. I mean, we're playing for the SEC championship, and like we had talked before, off camera, actually, a lot of things have got to happen in their conference championship game. So I mean, Tennessee's not even playing in the conference championship game. So I mean, where would that come into play? You know what I mean? What are your
I know.
thoughts on this?
Well, my 2 cents on this. My 2 cents on this is Scott. I agree with this comment 100%. That's why I let it stay up there for a while. Super talented kid. Definitely would hate to see him not get an opportunity to play. But whatever he's working through, we hope that he's able to work through it. Um, I do understand that conferences are getting away from divisions. Case in point, which one is it right now that doesn't have divisions? Big 12 does not have divisions. There are no divisions in the Big 12. It's just play teams with the two best records play each other. I don't know about the Pac-12. I haven't gotten that far. Oh, you know what? I got you on the screen here. Maybe I should put us both on the screen. There we go. The Big 12, no divisions. The Big 10 is getting away from divisions. It was announced that the SEC is looking into doing away with divisions, as is the
Let's see
ACC.
that.
So by that logic, coming up next year, this is where I'm gonna go with this. Coming up with the way they plan on setting the SEC up, I 100% agree. If that were the case, Tennessee would be playing in the SEC championship game and not LSU. But
Right.
as it stands today, on Monday, November the 28th, 2022, we have two divisions, and the way that it works out is the best team in the East plays against the best team in the West. The best team
Right.
in the East right now happens to be one University of Georgia. The best team in the West happens to be one Louisiana State University, the Bayou Bengals.
Yeah.
Um, so that's where it stands right now. I don't know if this guy's a Tennessee fan or not. I ran across it right before we came on, so I didn't get a chance to do a deep dive. But I guarantee you, if I dive deep enough, this guy is either a hot take guy or he's either a University of Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
Not Tennessee fans, but there have been a whole lot of we can still get ins from both them and Alabama.
Right.
And Scott
Exactly.
makes a very valid point. LSU won
Right.
the West fair and square.
Mhm.
This year's Alabama is not the Alabama of years past. Neither is LSU. Neither is Tennessee. As a matter
Very
of
true.
fact, Tennessee has shown some improvement. Georgia's going to have to rep the SEC and bring home the trophies, and no other team can achieve that this year. And that is of course, I don't know if Scott is conceding victory to Georgia, but Georgia wins, it's pretty much going to be Georgia unless there's a huge shakeup at the bottom. Because, like I said, conference
Yeah.
championships are still coming. But
Yeah.
there's some pundits that are saying if if Georgia, Michigan, and TCU all lose, they'd still all be one loss. They'd still all be you know one loss teams who played
Mhm.
in their conference, who lost came in the conference championship, and thus
Yeah.
should get first consideration for for CFP. So I mean, I'm not going to put any faith in it, but there is a small, slim chance that we could lose, TCU could lose, Michigan could lose, and all
Yeah.
three still get into the playoffs. So
Absolutely.
that's where that stands right now. And I agree with Scott here. I mean, the way
Yeah.
it's set up, it's been set up that way for a while. West versus East. LSU won the West. Plain and simple.
And I
Does
don't, I don't, I don't
does
think you'll
Tennessee?
find anybody. I don't think anybody will disagree that Tennessee makes a vast improvement. They might be a force to
Oh,
reckon with that
one
for next
hundred
year.
percent.
So I mean,
Hat
this is not downplaying anything about Tennessee and their schedule and their team at any
yeah,
stretch.
definitely.
They will
Hats
be
off to the Vols. They did their thing this year.
absolutely.
The years of the trash can and brick by brick and champions at life and all of that. I
Yeah,
think Josh Heupel has managed to put those to bed with some good old fashioned lullabies. It's one of the most powerful offenses in all
absolutely,
of NCAA football this year. So next year could be some trouble, man. It could really be some trouble.
absolutely.
Depends on what they got going. Depends on what they got going on when everybody comes back. So let's move a little forward here. Let's move forward here, and then we got to get to a commercial break. Georgia wins if. So what do you where do you have this for the Georgia wins if?
Well, I mean, I think I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it's gonna be, mistake free offense. Keep the turnovers down to a minimum, if at any. And I would say our defense just needs to, a perfect example was how we played Tennessee. We the reason we won that game is actually kept in the hooker, making bad decisions, keeping them on the run, and getting through that offensive line and making bad decisions or getting the sacks. We had a lot of sacks in that game. A lot of them came at the weather, when it started raining, but I mean we had some before that. But the looks like the defense was rushing quite a bit, and I think that's what we need to continue to do against LSU, against JD5. So he, that's like I said, I sound like a broken record, but it seems like that's what wins football games. Defense getting through the offensive line, and your quarterback and your running backs and your tight ends and offensive line giving your quarterback protection. So I mean,
Yeah,
sounds easy on paper, but it's harder to do in person.
yeah,
So
100%. I'm gonna give you two words that we need to look out for this coming Saturday. Harold Perkins. The dude is an absolute monster. He is LSU's equivalent this year of what Nakobe Dean was last year. He's
okay,
all over the field. I think he's either first or second in sacks in the SEC. He's third in the conference in sacks with 7.5. He's got 11 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception, and he moves around a lot, like Nakobe moved around,
yeah,
like Dallas moves Micah Parsons around. This kid's a beast, and we're gonna have to keep an eye on him because if we're not looking out for him, then that could cause all sorts of trouble. That's the guy we got to look out for. Now, here's the thing: uh, it's even though it's supposed to be neutral field, it's a home game.
that's
For
true.
frame of reference, for those of you that don't know where Athens is in relation to Atlanta, about 45 minutes, maybe an hour and a half if you get caught in
Give or
really
take.
bad traffic once you get inside the beltway to 485. But no traffic at all, about 30, 45 minutes on a good day. So Georgia faithful will be coming up from Savannah, Augusta, from Macon, from Darien, from where you're from Savannah, where I'm from. They'll be coming from all points of Georgia, and there'll be Georgia fans flying in from Florida and South Carolina, and all 50 states that will be there to
Yeah,
support the Dogs. Scott says Georgia's played LSU enough in Hotlanta to know what it feels like when we're fully confident. This is just phase one for us. UGA is a new standard. We coming. Might take a few years. Might be this weekend. Good luck, sir. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
oh
That's
yeah,
the kind of fandom that we love right there. He said LSU travels well, 100%.
100%.
I lived in Virginia. Colin is still in Virginia, and we can both tell you can throw a rock and hit an LSU fan in the DC area. For real,
That's very
for
true.
real. There's always somebody yelling, "Go Tigers!" Leslie Le Bon Ton Roulette. Uh,
And
there's
then
gonna be a
plus you
lot of
got
people
it's in the
supporting.
dome, and no worry about the weather. I mean, in a dome and a good, perfect playing environment. So
Yeah, 100%. Shouts out to Mad Hattie, who's also here in the comments. Appreciate you joining us. Says former OU great is a coach at Tennessee. References to Brent Venables. Brent Venables. Just side note, just to jump off topic for a minute.
yeah,
Brent Venables did great things while he was at OU. He's an OU boy. He's Oklahoma. He's an Oklahoma guy. Did some great things at Clemson with the defense. He's just this year. He basically thought he was getting a fully furnished apartment and moved in to find out that the previous tenants picked everything clean.
yeah,
Took some of the furniture, took a couple of the cabinets, some medicine cabinet, things like that, half the bathtub. So he just got to do some rebuilding. He will. I think he'll do. This year is the first year he'll have a full recruiting class. This year is the first year he'll have recruits
right.
and transfer portal and whole nine. He basically stitched the whole thing together with first day tape and spit this year, and not the greatest of years, but I'll be interested to see what goes on next year. Oh, that's
Wow.
Drew. Is that Drew Miller? Oh, okay, that's who that is. Okay. Oh, Drew Miller. That's our dog buddy right there. That's our homeboy. That's another fellow dog fan.
That's
Also
sweet.
part of the SEC Super Conference group on the Facebook. Very strong group, strong like bull.
Very strong.
Um, definitely. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you are under the sound of our voices, you are watching this week's edition of This Week in UGA Football Season 2, Episode 37. Mr. Fingers here from Oklahoma, Colin P. from the DMV over there in Virginia, bringing you all the news that's fit to print and some you might not be able to find anyplace else because we made it up right here on this very show. We're going to take a brief pause for the cause, and we will be right back. We got a long lineup. We are part of a group called the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts, and there are a ton of shows. I have yet to download the new, where is it? Do I not have it? Oh, there it is. It's right there. We have a huge lineup. There's a show on every day of the week. This show is actually part of that family. But here's where you can find every single one of those shows. But right now, before that, here's a little something from SEC insider who had this to say about the upcoming game against UGA in the SEC championship game.
Ain't nobody worried about no Georgia.
And with that, we'll be right back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's a show on every night of the week, and there are more coming with every passing day. And with our expanding group of friends of the Let's Talk Football family of shows, case in point, the SEC Power Hour, our guy, Scott Irwin, part of that super group, SEC Super Conference Facebook group. And Randy Jowers, he was on the comment section earlier, one of the moderators of the SEC Power Hour. That's on every Wednesday from 7:30 Central through to 8:30. They keep it right at an hour. They keep it cut short and to the point. And lots of good commentary there you can catch as well. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, real quick, we were just talking about, I know it's old Nathan. I'm going to get a new one. I told you I didn't have the new one. Shush. Hey, look, you better have gone on and done your show. I hope you did your show before I get off this one because I'm going to be all in your comment section harassing you. Now, what you think about that, Hammer? We were talking about the SEC championship game, and Georgia wins. If I just gonna say, don't get me started, boo boo, because a pimp ain't had nothing to say in a long time. And even though Thanksgiving is already come and gone, and it was 4 days ago, that don't mean that it's too late to roast me somebody else too. I done had a roast turkey and a roast ham. I can have some roasted Nathan Snell. So what we gonna do about it? I'm diametrically and systematically opposed to this harassment right here on our show. That's my bad Stephen A. Smith impersonation. We keep this thing
going.
Been a
minute for that. That's good.
Yeah, I'm working on that one. You know, I think that the Shannon Sharp is a little bit better. I think the Shannon Sharp is a little bit better than the Skip. You know, I watched Stephen A. Smith. The only thing that I can't get with is the mustache. You know, I like my little patch down here, so you can do a little something before two something. We ain't gonna talk about that, but that's the best kept secret right there, boy. Come, Shay, you find out what two something mean right there. Anyway, but we've been working on the Stephen A. Smith, and sometimes Stephen A. Smith just gets angry for no reason, and he loves to laugh at Dallas for no reason whatsoever. All right, so we done there. So let's get a real quick early score prediction for the game. What you got?
Oh wow. I would say real quick. I'd say 30. I'd say 38 to 12. Let's do it that way. 38-12.
38-12 Georgia. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go 45 to. I'm gonna say 45 to 22. I'm gonna give them a little more credit than that. I'm gonna give them a little more credit than that. Yeah, I'm gonna be
They're
on.
definitely gonna score.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mad Hattie. If I ever get my sinuses cleared up, my sinuses have been giving me the blues for the last 3 months now. If I ever get my sinuses clear, it's gonna be a wrap. Cause Cat Williams can come out, or Bernie Mac can come out and say, "I ain't got no time for no milk and cookies, no time whatsoever." And Kevin Hart can come out and go, "No, she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready." And then I can come out and I can say, "Well, Skip Bayless, we're not gonna do this today. We're not doing none of this today, Skip Bayless. You gonna let me? No, it's not your turn. Jenny, somebody has Skip and escort him out of here. I can't say nothing. They used to call me in the elevator because I come up slow. Anyway, that's what that's what we do. We
You
are
need to
we
do
are
like a
all
Family Guy roundtable and do all of them at one time and have it.
no, sir. No, sir. I could not do that. I do not know how your boy does all those voice like he has to record all those voices because he's Stewie and he's Peter and he's a couple of other dudes and
Yeah.
it's just I couldn't do it. I'd be too busy laughing at the takes I did. And then once I finally got that down, then I got to go back and interact with a tape I recorded or a take I recorded earlier. They'd be like, dude, it
Right.
takes like 3 hours just to get one scene done because he'd be cracking up at himself.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's fair game. That's a fair assessment there, Scott. Um, if Jay Daniels is not ready to go, that is a huge factor. If he's not 100%, that's going to be a huge factor in the game right there for
Yeah,
LSU because he
absolutely.
is definitely part of the heart and soul of that offense. He is to LSU's offense what Caleb Williams is to USC, what Hendon is to Tennessee, what Bryce Young has been to Alabama. He's that guy. He's that kid. The kid's good, and I wish him tons and tons of success in the future. So having said that, we're running just a little bit over, ladies and gentlemen, but we're still doing good on time. That brings us around to our final segment of the show. But before we do, for those of you that just joined us, these hats right here this is Zagnif Apparel. This is the brand that is part of Zagnif Productions, which is a parent company for This Week in UGA Football. This is embroidered with the Zagnif Apparel signature logo, established 2021. We're going to be going through the comments from this show tonight. We're going to pick everybody's name that commented on this show tonight. And by Wednesday, we will draw one name and you will win one of these. And I will mail it to your door just in time for Christmas. So, if you're commenting, keep commenting because you never can tell. Now, number of comments you make doesn't matter. We're just writing down your name once, but we appreciate you watching the show. Our next segment, our final segment of the show. This is a part of the show that we like to call the 2-minute warning. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this week in UGA football, the 2-minute warning, our final segment of the show. This is a segment where Colin and I just take a little time to drop a little something on you. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's poignant, sometimes it's deep and philosophical. But we always like to leave you with a little something to think about as you go throughout the rest of your week. And Colin, as always, I turn the floor over to you for your 2-minute warning.
Yes, sir, man. All I gotta say is, what a heck of a season that has been. I'm happy that, like I said, I already said it before, that I'm happy that the Dogs are doing so well. I'd like to thank the seniors and, to congratulate all the seniors, to all the football play, all the colleges and what have you. But sad to see it almost come to an end. It's not done yet, but it's just a reminder when you get to the championship, the conference championships, that it's almost there. And we're already running to the end of the year, which, time is flying. It's insane to me how fast time has been. is flying by. So, with having said that, be mindful of that time and enjoy the football season, enjoy sports season, enjoy your time with your family and friends, and just don't take all that for granted. It's we're not promised tomorrow. Enjoy the end of the football season, the conference championships, and hopefully we make it to the national championship again, and that would be wonderful. In my eyes. So, with that said, fingers on you, man.
Thank you, sir. That's my man, Colin P from the DMV with his 2-minute warning. My 2-minute warning. I ran across what I choose to use for my 2-minute warning today. Somebody said something on Facebook earlier today. Real quick. Yeah, regardless of outcome, LSU supports UGA the rest of the way. Bring the SEC home with a natty. We hope to do that, sir. We sincerely do. And I swear to God, if we win another national championship, I may not stop crying until February. I'm not even going to lie to you, because I cried for a good long moment that night when we won. When Brock Bowers ran that touchdown off left tackle, off that little dump pass, because he was right.
Yeah.
It was just an up route. He was maybe 5-7 yards off the line of scrimmage, and Stetson hit him. He was in trouble. He hit him, and he just bobbed and weaved his way to the end zone. And then third and Ringo happened, and man, I turned into more of a blubbering mess. I turned into more of a blubbering mess than a 25-year-old woman watching a Notebook for the third time on repeat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was on Facebook, and this is the truth. And I don't go digging for it. I'll find it. It'll pop up in the memories. I'll repost it again when it pops up. It's been 41 years. Y'all don't understand. The dogs went. How about them dogs? Like, I was really emotional, man.
Well, that was the point, man, that we knew that we couldn't lose, right? I mean, that was what I felt when Ringo ran it back and he scored. I was like, all right, there's no way in the world we can lose this game now.
No way whatsoever. That was the one that sealed the deal. Like, even if they got the ball back and scored a touchdown, it was a wrap. We knew it. Yeah. But my 2-minute warning, it was something that I saw, and I try not to take a whole lot of what I see on social media to heart. But oh, trust me, I would, you know what, I would be disappointed. I would be disappointed, sir, if you didn't talk a little smack. Okay, I'm just saying. And it's not like you haven't been talking some already, but I don't take a lot of what I see on social media to heart. But this one stuck with me. He said, if you think that some of the troubles in your life are insurmountable, then let me back up. Football season is almost over. It was just January when you and I were going, oh my God, we did it. Ring the bell, go dogs. Yeah. We're crying and hugging people and stuff like that. My wife is stroking my back, like, yes, baby, let it all out. And I'm just, oh my God, they won. I can't believe they won. And she just let it all out, baby. I understand. I don't know why I made my wife sound like Medea. My wife is a very nice lady from Virginia. She sounds nothing like an 80-year-old black woman from Atlanta, Georgia, named Mabel Simmons. Anyway, a year has passed us already. And this is what the thought was. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it right in front of me. It said, for those of you who think that your troubles are insurmountable, go back 12 months and look at whatever was bothering you 12 months ago. Okay? And ask yourself the question, is what that was so horrible that you didn't know how you want to get through, is it still bothering you now? If it's not, then that tells you that every little thing that come your way is not insurmountable. Every little thing that come your way is not for you to get set over. It's just a little something in the road to determine from which you will determine which way you go from there and what type of person you become afterward. Excuse me. Excuse me. I've had stuff happen in my life over the course of the last year. Lost 2 really good friends this summer. Lost a lot of friends over the last couple of years. Unfortunately, some to COVID, others to just health in general. And when that happened, it felt like things were pretty bad. It felt like things were pretty insurmountable. But I'm still here. I'm still kicking and scratching. I'm on the internet, doggone it, with one of my best friends on this whole spinning rock, talking about the team that I love more than anything else. The Bulldogs of the University of Georgia. Them dogs, them junkyard dogs. How about them dogs? So Yeah, just look back, and you know what? Sometimes just take a step back and go, is this really this serious that I'm going to let it change my whole life, day, mood, and attitude? Or is this just something that I can just deal with later? Can I put that on the shelf and come back and deal with that? Let me put that on the shelf. If I feel the same way after I come back a couple of days, then maybe it might be a little bit serious. But if it, is it going to, listen, is it going to, do I still have a roof, clothes on my back, food
Yeah,
on the table? Do I still have my health? Am I going to lose my job? Is it going to kill somebody I know or love? Is it going to cause catastrophic damage to the entire planet to the point where all life as we know it will be wiped out? No, then maybe it ain't that bad. It might be. It might bristle your feathers a little bit.
right.
Um, but there's a poem. There's a poem that I had to learn when I was pledging the fraternity, and it says it finishes out by saying, "If you can feel the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the world and all that is within it. And what is more, you'll be a man, my son." That's a If by Rudyard Kipling. And it's a very powerful poem. It talks about if you can bear to hear the truths you spoke, and twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, and stooping and bending over and building them back up with worn out tools, and all of these different things. You understand what I'm saying? It talks about
Oh,
the adversities that you go through in life. There's another one called Invictus, which also is about facing adversity. There's another one called Don't Quit, which is about facing adversity. Look back. If it doesn't meet none of those, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, food, clothing, shelter, your family's well being, your way of living, chances are pretty good you're going to be all right. So try not to let those things weigh you down. And that's my 2 minute warning for the day. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate each and every one of you for joining us here today on This Week in UGA Football. This was episode 37 of our second season. I cannot believe
me
that we
either.
are just a mere, what, sir, about 9, 10 weeks away from closing out season number 2, and we were
That's
just
crazy.
getting started. We were just getting started right after last year's championship. And shouts out to all the folks that joined us today on the show in the
Oh yeah.
comments and came through to see us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please, again, make sure to like, make sure to share, make sure to subscribe, and good luck to you as well, Scott. I will see you in the group chat in just a little bit if you're getting ready to take off, sir. Glad to see you made it back in safely. He was traveling, so he's made it back safely. So what you got going on this week, fam, before the game?
Like I said, man, we're going down to God's country on Friday. Remember, I told you I'm going to fly down. Hopefully, take my son down there and going to hang out with the family. And so I'll be down there for the SEC championship. Going to be kind of an early Christmas family reunion type situation. I haven't been down there in a while to see some of my family down there. So looking for a good time there. We'll be back Monday. So hopefully back. Should be back in time to do a show on Monday. So
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. I'll be working the rest of this week until Friday. So pretty uneventful till then. So how about
Yes.
yourself?
Work. I don't really have anything planned. I'm gonna work, and then this weekend I'm gonna be propped up in front of the chair in front of the big screen. I normally, I have conceded to my wife. My wife loves to relax, and she's taken up crocheting. She used to crochet many moons ago, but we've been together 13 years and she hasn't really done any, and she just started doing it a few months back, and she's been hooked. Like, that's her nightly stress reliever. She sits on the
Yeah.
couch and she crochets. And another thing that my wife loves, she loves Hallmark Christmas movies. So
Oh yeah.
on Saturdays, just about every Saturday except for Georgia, Florida, and Georgia, the season opener, Georgia, Florida, and this past Saturday, I come in here and I pull up the game on my computer. I let her sit on the couch on the recliner, and she
Right.
she crochets and watches her Hallmark movie. So I'm gonna be
There you
propped
go.
up in front of the big screen TV this coming Saturday, watching the game and yelling "Go Dogs!" I might be messaging you. I might start a group chat with you and Scott
I'm down with that. Yep. I'll be
during
down
the
there.
game,
I have service.
talking a little bit of smack. But yeah, so that's what I got going on, and then hopefully come Monday, I'll be strolling into work as the fan of one of the top 4 teams in the country that will be in the playoffs for the national championship for the second year in a row.
There you go.
That's what my weekend's looking like. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we do want you to make sure you tune in next week. We do have two of our Let's Talk Football family members. In case you missed it earlier, Mr. Alex Loosemore of NFL Edition, Let's Talk Fantasy Football. Let's talk NFL. Doggone it. Of the NFL Edition Bucks Report and of Let's Talk College Football Saturday morning show will be joining us, Michigan fan, as well as from our Let's Talk Football Ladies show, the lovely Miss Kate Alverson will be joining us as well. So you guys be sure to tune in. Don't ask me why I was looking at the wall over there and the camera's right there. That's why I always, every time I go back and look at the videos, I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? The camera's right there. So we're going to have Alex Loosemore and Katie Alverson joining us, two wonderful Michigan fans, and we're going to talk a lot of smack, and hopefully both of our teams have won, and we're in great spirits and all of that good stuff. So they'll be on next Monday. That's a show you don't want to miss. But in the meantime, between time, you all have a wonderful week. We won't be doing a show this coming Thursday because Colin's going to be out of town. I may jump on and do a halftime report on Saturday, solo dolo. If I can get Colin on the phone, if I can pry him away from the TV or his 3-can normal, which might be 5 because he's out of town. We might be on during the halftime of the game. But other than that, the next time you see the two of us together will be next Monday. So until then, I am Mr. Figures. That is my guy, Colin P. from the DMV, watching UGA football on the TV with me on Saturday because it's not today, which is Monday. That don't rhyme, so I'm going to stop there. We will catch you next time. And until then, go Dogs.
Go Dogs, baby.